To begin with, this is just one view of the portal. So imagine you have a portal for employees with a bunch of
Mm,
different things that, if they need something, they have a place to go to. And then you can have another one for managers and another one for something else. So you could have this as a separate page for each or one page for both. And you can basically just click, like if someone is going on maternity leave, there's a bunch of things they need to fill out. Um, Information required for the employer. If they're doing something else, if it needs to like order employee clothes, whatever it might be, like they're customer facing or not, like there are templates with these things built in. But then the employer, of course, this is different for every employer. So how, like, what the specific questions are, what the specific details are, and rules and everything, this can all be configured by the employer themselves. But the interesting thing is that once they fill this out, whatever it may be, like a new hire request or something,
mm,
is what happens behind the hood. And happens behind the hood is the system itself. And the system itself looks like this. So you have a list of all the different journeys that you've built out in the system in one place. And it could be an onboarding journey, for example, would look like this, where you have kind of all the actions. So once somebody fills out, once somebody's getting onboarded, you've decided to hire someone, let's say in your recruiting system. What you then have happening is that you have that individual automatically put into this onboarding funnel. And this funnel is built out of different actions. The first action here is to ask that individual to fill out a form. So the second that someone gets added to this, they're going to get an email and a text message in this case, because that's kind of been configured here. And that's going to tell them like, hey, like, and we call it a traveler because it's a traveler going through the journey itself. So
mm,
it says, hey, if you'd be a new hire here, it'd say, hey, Jeff, excited to have you on the team. And you can, of course, change this text into whatever you want it to be. And it's going to send you a link to this particular form. Now, the form itself, if I just go here back, the form itself, you can take a look at how that looks like. You can configure the form itself and add new information to it. But this is the form where you collect all the info that you need for this new employee. And once they've filled that out, it's going to move on to the next action, informing a manager about it. It's going to move on to the next action in manually or automatically creating the employment contract with all the info you need. Send it to e-signing with whatever tool you want. And then we call this a branch. It's going to trigger all the things below this branch at the same time. In this case, it's going to trigger off a new hire buddy program with all the details there. It's going to wait for 7 days until someone starts, or 2 weeks before they start, or 2 days, whatever you want it to be. So it's completely customizable. And it's then going to do a bunch of things like create people in different systems. In this case, it's going to create a user in the HR system. It's going to send a message on Teams to all of the people on a specific channel. And it's going to say something like, hey, John is joining us in 7 days. Make sure to make them feel welcome. And because you asked them about their LinkedIn, you can say things like welcome them by adding them on LinkedIn. And because you had a form here in the beginning where you requested a bunch of info and you had a question, what's your LinkedIn? And so you can just put that here. And so you make sure that whatever they responded there is going to go to that place. So you can really see, like, this is an example of a rather, I'd say onboarding is a rather complicated type of journey where
yep.
you really, like, you have a lot of actions that might take the course of pre-boarding before they start and post after they start for maybe many months ahead. But you can really configure this and put all the people you're onboarding into here. And you can then just watch the whole thing be completely stressless and see how every single individual travels through it. And that's the other thing here. You'll see like all the people that went through this process. The onboarding here hasn't started for them. But if you take someone like just Christian here as an example, you can see that this journey started for them and they got sent the form. They filled out the form. And then the next action here in place didn't work out because it's a demo, it didn't have the proper email or something. But you kind of see how they travel through it. And you want to make sure all these actions are green in color. And then you're kind of, where it's been, where everything is in the process.